Good morning, guys. Excuse my puffy eyes, I just woke up. It is May 8th. Happy birthday, Aunt Lori. We are now 3 days past my due date, and I was starting to get a little impatient and a little frustrated, especially since yesterday I was definitely getting some contractions, and they were like really close together. They weren't super intense, like they weren't painful, so like I couldn't really do anything with that, and then they just faded away eventually. So I don't know what's going on, I don't know what the plan is, but it brought me right back to kind of the devotion that I want to start with you guys. And maybe God just wants me to put the first one out there before things get crazy. Maybe that's his plan, I don't know. But like I told you guys in my last video, I want to dive into the story of Job. And I'm not sure how much I'll get into it, if I'll make it a whole Bible study, or if it's just going to be just this word that's been spoken over me. I'm not sure. But basically what happened was Satan came to God, and God said, you know, have you considered my servant Job? He's blameless and shuns evil, and you know, nothing you can do will turn him away, so on and so forth. And Satan goes, okay, let's see what happens. So he goes, and Job is just at home with his wife, and some servants come to the door and say, the oxen were plowing and donkeys were grazing, and the Sabeans attacked and made off with them. They're gone. Another messenger came while he was talking, saying the fire fell from heavens and burned up the sheep and servants. And while he was still talking, another messenger came and say that the camels are gone. And just like basically while one messenger was coming, another one was coming saying something else has gone wrong, something else has disappeared, something else is gone. And instead of like completely freaking out going, oh my gosh, these things are falling through my fingertips, Job is just hearing the messages and continuing listening on to the next one. And this is his reaction, okay? I don't think I would react this way. You know, I'm trying to get to this point, but he got up and tore his robe and shaved his head, and then he fell to the ground and worshiped and said, naked I come from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. So, I think maybe even today I'll just focus on that part instead of going into chapter 2, and maybe after we can dive into that more. But I was just thinking, and first of all, I want to say I'm definitely not comparing my situation to, you know, all of my things being destroyed and taken away. I definitely know that it's not that severe, but like I had said before, my pregnancy has been very, very, very rough. You know, I think the first 4 months going into 5, I can't even describe it to you. I just felt dead, like so dead, like on the couch, like everyone had to help with the baby. So nauseous through the night, nauseous through the day, zero energy, which obviously got into my mind as well, and my spirit. And I was doing everything I can. And what's crazy is right before I found out I was pregnant, I was actually planning on going on my sabbatical and having this really intense time with God, and I still did. Believe me, but it was just not what I had planned. So I'm like, this isn't right. This is supposed to be my time with God. I'm miserable. I can't even focus, so on and so forth. And so that was the biggest first trial for me. And, you know, after that, things just started getting really busy, and I don't even really remember, but I just felt like things were just falling apart, falling apart, falling apart. And then, you know, once things got better, something else would happen. And I know specifically with my pregnancy, there's just been things that I've been worrying about. And then there was some storms coming in, which really weren't that big of a deal. But for some reason that caused me some major anxiety. I ended up in the hospital because I thought I was dying, because it had never happened to me before. And so that's been really hard dealing with that, because I thought I've dealt with anxiety before, but I definitely have not, knowing what it kind of feels like now. And then we have this virus that is just like, I'm just like, here comes another thing. And oh, and my weight. I knew there was something else that in between. It was just climbing, 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 and I had no control over it, because if I ate, I felt better but didn't feel better, and then I would eat more, and I would try to eat the good things for me, and that would make my heartburn and gas, and just I could not win. Okay, I could not win. And so there's just like thing after thing after thing that really just have been trying to bring me down from the joy of this pregnancy. And you know, I know there's people who could say, you know, you're being so selfish, like you should be happy, you know, people can't get pregnant. I'm fully aware of that. I understand that, and I am definitely appreciative of being able to have this baby, and that's kind of what I'm getting at with this devotional. It's just that I felt like all of these things was just another messenger, like before even one thing was over, something else was starting, and I wasn't reacting, I don't think majorly negatively. I think I've tried to push through and, you know, continue to have faith and all that, but to have that reaction of, you know, all of these things are crashing down. Okay, yep, well, you know, Lord, take me next. Whatever it is, I give it to you, God. You've given me all these blessings, and if I'm next, then here you go. Here I am, naked I came into this world, naked I'll leave. You know, thinking, you know, thank you for all you've given me on this earth, and if I'm next, here I am. And that attitude, like, what a brave and faithful attitude. Like, I can't even explain it. And I just hope that, you know, I can continue to be like that, and, you know, be an example for those around me, to see, you know what, no, all of these things are a blessing. You know, everything that I have is a blessing, and it doesn't have to mean that Satan's attacking me. It just means that God has some plan in all this. Something else is happening. So while I'm getting, you know, nervous about this whole situation, I've been nervous about not being able to have my mom in the hospital. I've been nervous about, you know, how this whole birth is going to go, so on and so forth. But first of all, I'm carrying a child. What a blessing. I have my mother around. What a blessing. I have my husband around. What a blessing. And he's able to come. What a blessing. I have a hospital here. What a blessing. You know, and if we think about it this way, what if a friend had, you know, lent you something? Let's even say it was money, you know, and they gave you $100, and it was such a blessing, and you've been, you know, using it for this and that, just slowly over time, whatever it is, and all of a sudden they said, okay, I really need that money back, and for some reason they were able to just get it, so they took it out of your bank. And like, think of how weird it would be for you to say, like, well, no, like, you can't do that to me. I can't believe you took that from me. You know, like, how weird is that? They gave it to you in the first place. That was a blessing for you to have. You were able to use it. You had the money for them to be able to take back, you know? So I just think we have to continue to think like that, as like everything we have, from like the moment we open our eyes, take a breath, everything is a blessing. If we can control how we react to a situation, I think that really reveals our true relationship with God. And God even said he didn't sin in this time. It continues into chapter 2, which we can get in. I really want to get into more because it just solidifies this message. But if we can react knowing that God has blessed us and he's going to continue to do so in our relationship with him, these things on earth don't matter, I think that will grow our relationship with him so much more. And as well as what we portray to our friends as our relationship with Christ. So continuing to just take each day as a time, roll with the punches, I guess you could say. And anytime something feels like a messenger coming to us with bad news, if we can just say, you know, God, I appreciate you for having that in the first place. And if there's anything else you need from me, Lord, here I am. Take it. I think next time I get into this devotional, we'll definitely hop into chapter 2. But just a little sneak peek verse that I want to send you off with is, you know, when things started happening again and Satan returned to him, his wife said to him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." And he says, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" So just think about that. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble? It's something to talk about. Something to grow our hearts on and really dive into. And I really think it can grow our relationship with God. Well, I hope this baby comes soon. I'm going to just continue to have faith that God has a plan, and thank him for my blessings today and going forth. And if there's anything he needs from me, I just want to submit that to him. So I hope that you do the same. I hope that you enjoyed this little chat video, and maybe next time I'll have a baby in my arms. We'll see. Bye, guys.